Fargo, Moorhead, USA. It's 4 o'clock.
A new plan didn't last long. Lisa Brady, Fox News. A so-called billionaire's tax to help pay for the president's social spending package apparently sank already just hours after being floated as Democrats try to iron out differences on the eve of the president's trip to Europe.
Asked if deals can be made on infrastructure and social spending bills before the president's trip, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said,
"Yes, we'll see."
But even if there isn't, Psaki says world leaders will take stock in the president's commitment at home.
To making a historic investment in addressing the climate crisis, to addressing some of the overdue infrastructure issues that we have in the United States that have made us less competitive, to making the global minimum tax a part of our law here.
She says the president has kept up talks with moderate and progressive Democrats to reach common ground.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Oklahoma is ordered to postpone executions set to resume tomorrow when appeals court panel says all executions must be on hold during a legal fight by some death row inmates over the state's lethal injection protocol. In Texas, a former nurse is sentenced to death for killing 4 patients by injecting air into their arteries after heart surgery. The same Smith County jury that convicted William George Davis of capital murder last week, sealing his fate today after about 2 hours of deliberations. Sheriff's officials in Santa Fe say there was some complacency on the movie set where Alec Baldwin accidentally shot 2 people with what turned out to be a live round, which appears to have landed in the director's shoulder after hitting the cinematographer who died. No decision yet on any possible charges.
I do not make rash decisions, and I do not rush to judgment.
Prosecutor Mary Carmack Altwies calling the ongoing sheriff's investigation serious and complex. America is listening to Fox News.
Here's a fact. COVID hospitalizations of young people have tripled since the start of summer. Also a fact, vaccines are highly effective in preventing hospitalizations and deaths, even from the Delta variant. If you've got questions about COVID vaccines, talk to a doctor, because our kids are irreplaceable. We can do this. Find vaccines near you at vaccines.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Did you know that you might be overpaying for your prescriptions? It's okay, because there's an easy, convenient solution. Check GoodRx. GoodRx lets you compare prices at different pharmacies and shows you where to get the lowest price. Here's Joe, a doctor and GoodRx customer.
I was able to look up some medicines that I was going to get, and it saved me a good amount of money.
GoodRx is helping millions of people, and it can help you too. For simple, smart savings, check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance. In 2020, GoodRx users saved an average of 79% off retail prices. Individual compensated for their time. Visit GoodRx.com/radio to learn more.
The tension keeps ratcheting up in Virginia's tight race for governor between former Governor Terry McAuliffe and Republican businessman Glenn Youngkin, who says the race is about the state's future and that Democrats don't want to talk about it.
They're on the side of big government, and I'm on the side of parents and students, and we're going to get this in Virginia moving, and we're going to make a statement on behalf of the entire nation.
McAuliffe hitting back on health care and pushing back on criticism that his campaign needs big-name surrogates, including President Biden and former President Obama, to draw enthusiasm.
I'd ask him, where's Donald Trump? He's pledged allegiance to him 6 times. Why isn't he here?
Recent polls have the race narrowing to a dead heat. A Trump lawsuit against Twitter is being moved from Florida to California.
A federal judge in Miami says the former president's lawsuit against Twitter in an effort to have his account restored must be heard in Northern California. Trump had argued that because his account was suspended while he was still president, it could be handled in Florida. But the judge said Trump signed up for a Twitter account as a private citizen in 2009 and is subject to their terms of service, which stipulate legal filings must be handled in Northern California, where the company's based. Twitter suspended Trump's account on January 8th, 2 days after the Capitol riot. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
This could be bad news for wine drinkers.
California's wine industry is at the center of a perfect storm. The demand is there. Of course, the pandemic fostered a sharp increase in consumption. But not only is wine country grappling with a supply chain crisis, California is also experiencing a severe drought. After what was already a very dry 2020, Northern California is now experiencing its worst year on record. Production is down an average of 20%. Some vineyards are seeing as much as 60%. In many cases, the vines have actually died, which will impact harvests for years to come.
Fox Business' Kelly O'Grady in Oakville, California. The Dow snaps a winning streak down 266. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Showers continue this afternoon. A few embedded thunder showers can't be ruled out. We'll have steady temperatures in the upper 40s to near 50 with southeast winds around 15 to 25. The rain will come to an end overnight tonight, about 3/4 of an inch likely, with higher amounts possible to our east into the lakes area. We'll have a low near 40 tonight, then sunshine returns for the rest of the week with highs in the 50s. Remember, you can always find the full forecast at am1100theflag.com. From the Flag Skywatch Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki.
Hi, Jeff from Cutting Edge. And folks, guess what? We have secured a great parcel of diamonds. There are rounds, ovals, radiants, pear shapes, marquees, cushions, every shape you can imagine. And we got a tremendous deal. So that means we're passing it on to you. Come to a Cutting Edge where you're going to save more money than you ever have before on the best diamonds in the world. A Cutting Edge, 4507 33rd Avenue South, right here in Fargo.
One more time, got me feeling so free. We're gonna one more time.
Follow the science, we're told. Follow the science, we're told. Follow the science, we're told. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the science, we're told. So a big question is a local hospital following the science? We're going to talk about that and much, much more. Welcome to the Chris Berg Show, live from the PetroServe USA studio, your oasis of truth, your hour of power, your oasis of freedom. We have an incredible show in store for you today. And coming up at 4:30, I want to share with you, we're going to have a very special guest. And I'm going to tease this because I want to share with you what this conversation is going to be about at 4:30. It's going to be about kids, face masks, duct tape, and Fargo schools. How's that for a tease? Kids, face masks, duct tape, and Fargo schools. That's what's coming up at 4:30. So whatever you have going on this hour, cancel it and stay with us, because believe me, you're going to want to hear what's happening with the Fargo schools in regards to kids, face masks, and duct tape. All right, let's get into it today, because there's so much to get to. Always, if you want to call into the show and share your point of view, which you're going to want to today, believe me, number to do so, 701-271-1100, 701-271-1100. I shared with you last week that you and I are living through, it's just an incredible time to be alive. I know it's challenging at times, and you've got to sort of sometimes take a step back, take that 30,000-foot view and just say, you know what? Thank you, God. Like, thank you for having me be alive for such a time as this, while you and I get to live through probably the biggest psyop in the history of music of humankind. You and I are living through probably the biggest psyop in the history of mankind. And I'm going to get into it today because this came out a few days ago. It looks like October 24th. Sanford Health put out a post. And I'm going to share this with you in a moment. Before I share this with you, I want to ask you a really serious question. Who do you trust these days? I mean, we are in such a spin cycle, such a psyop right now. Honestly, just take a moment wherever you're at right now and just honestly ask yourself, who do I trust? When it boils down to it, who do I trust these days? And I tweeted this out, I think it was last night. I asked people, hey, who are you trusting these days? I said, you know what? Trust God and your gut. That's who you trust. Trust God and your gut. If you do that, you're going to be okay. So I'm inviting you to trust God and your gut, because yesterday, October 24th, When I read this to you, I'm going to read this. This is real, all right? This is not The Onion, or this is not some sort of fake news channel. What I'm going to share with you was actually posted by Sanford Health, and they still have it up. So it says this, quoting now, "The science is clear. The COVID-19 vaccines offer better protection than natural immunity. Protect yourself and your family by getting vaccinated." Okay, it's a hospital. They're going to say the science is clear. Usually in normal times in our history, you and I are going to trust a hospital. So you're going to think the science is clear. They're saying the vaccines are better. Then they've got a hyperlink on the post. And I thought, well, if they're going to, there's so much, psyop going on these days. Like if a hospital's going to put out this post knowing how much different information is out there, which I'm going to get to in a moment. There was a huge study out of Israel that I'll read you the headline, okay? And this is a giant study out of Israel, posted back in late August. Basically, the headline says, having COVID-19 having it once confers much greater immunity than a vaccine. So this isn't, some fake news. That's out of Israel, a big study that was done. So they're saying having COVID one time gives you much greater immunity to the vaccine. So I read this and I thought, oh, well, there's a hyperlink here. So of course, if it's a hospital, they're going to have a hyperlink, and it's going to, you're going to click on it, and it's going to go to a bunch of studies to demonstrate how they say the science is clear. The science is clear. So I go to click on the link, and what do you think pops up? Just take a moment and guess. Producer BG, here is this post from my hospital that says the science is clear about something that clearly is not clear. And so I jump on the hyperlink inside their post, and what do you think it would link to?
More studies, one would hope.
No, that's too much
logic,
common sense.
Like something helpful, maybe something helpful.
Well, it could be considered helpful because basically it was a sales page on how to get your vaccine.
Oh, not what we want to hear.
So essentially you click on this thing. It's not, real science or data or studies in regards to proving their post. They just want you to believe it because they say it, right? So it actually goes to a sales page. What's amazing though is inside the sales page, it says, hey, I have an idea. I just told you that the vaccines, and I'm quoting here, this is on their post, offers better and long-lasting immunity than natural immunity. Let me repeat this just so you have it. Offers better and long-lasting immunity than natural immunity. And then within the post, of the link of their post, the sales page, again, this is not The Onion. This is not The Onion. It says here, and I'm quoting, hey, schedule your booster shot at least 6 months after your second dose of the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine, or 2 months after the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. They treat us like we are total rubes. You could go out and read anything right now to talk about natural immunity, and it's going to give you way more than 2 months. But the science is clear. I'm going to get to some comments in a moment because it's just shocking to read people's comments. I should say, actually, it's kind of beautiful because, again, I've told you this is a total psyop, and these comments are like, come on, don't treat us like we're a bunch of brainless rubes. So I just told you about the huge study in Israel. There's a myriad of other studies that are going to share with you that, hey, natural immunity is much stronger than the vaccines. I will get to a quote that suggests differently, but I have to play you this. And I need to have a moment of just sort of quietness and peace. Maybe even a little bit of just silence, because right now, folks, you and I are about to enter into the presence of Father Fauci. Yes, you and I, in a moment, have a chance to hear from the one and only Father Fauci. And I want to play this for you because Sanford Health says the science is clear that the vaccines are better than, I can't even say without laughing, that the vaccines are better than natural immunity. So this is Father Fauci on CNN back in the end of September. Listen closely.
There was a study that came out of Israel about natural immunity, and basically the headline was that natural immunity provides a lot of protection, even better than the vaccines alone. What are people to make of that? So as we talk about vaccine mandates, I get calls all the time. People say, I've already had COVID, I'm protected, and now the study says maybe even more protected than the vaccine alone. Should they also get the vaccine? How do you make the case to them?
You know, that's a really good point, Sanjay. I don't have a really firm answer for you.
What? The science is clear, Sanford Health told us. How can you not have a clear answer, Father Fauci?
On that, that's something that we're going to have to discuss regarding the durability of the response. The one thing the paper from Israel didn't tell you is whether or not, as high as the protection is with natural infection, what's the durability compared to the durability of a vaccine. So it is conceivable that you got infected, you're protected, but you may not be protected for an indefinite period of time. So I think that is something that we need to sit down and discuss seriously, because you very appropriately pointed out it is an issue, and there could be an argument for saying what you said.
Wait, how can there be an argument if the science is clear according to Sanford Health? Are you telling me that Sanford Health isn't listening to Father Fauci? Oh. Is that even legal in the United States anymore? To not abide by Father Fauci's claims? That there could be an argument? But Sanford says, hey, the science is clear. So I want to have some fun with you, because you and I both know what's going on here. Total psyop. Sanford Health is going to say this because then they link you to a sales page on how you can actually get the vaccine and the booster shot. So I started the show saying, follow the science, we're told. Follow the science, we're told. We'll see if you can pick it up a little bit, because then Kevin Flynn and his creative genius helped me out a little bit with this one. So see if you can sort of follow the science, we're told. 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 We're off to see Dr. Fauci, the wonderful doctor of all. Hi-ho, 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 hi-ho. Follow the science, we're told. We're off to see the Fauci, the wonderful doctor of all. That's what's happening. I mean, people are just eyes closed, ears closed. Okay, Dr. Fauci said so, Father Fauci. Follow the science, we're told. All you can do is laugh at this point. I mean, you have to have some humor in the situation, because it's just stunning to have a hospital that you and I have typically said, yeah, you know what, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I don't know if you've ever seen the Milgram experiment. If you haven't, we don't have time to go into it today, but please go check out the Milgram experiment at some point. When we come back, I want to know your point of view on the situation, this post from Sanford Health. We're going to read some comments to you as well. I guess the one thing that you can give Sanford Health credit on is they actually they let you comment in America. It's amazing. Sanford Health posted something that isn't necessarily fully true and accurate, and then they let you and I, as Americans, actually share our point of view and our thoughts. And I say that because I'm sure, as you've heard, the North Dakota Department of Health, which is a government agency, shut off their social media comments this week. They said, you know what? You rubes that we're supposed to actually improve your health for, yeah, we don't want to hear from you. Who cares what you guys think? You only pay my salary, but I don't care what you have to say. So we're just going to shut those comments off, which, by the way, we did Saint Fauci. I'm sorry, Father Fauci, Saint Fauci. We're getting comments here on the live stream. I do want to let you know this as well. We did reach out to Governor Bergham's office and asked him, hey, what's your point of view? What are your thoughts on the fact that the Department of Health shut down comments on social media channels? We'll tell you about that and much, much more. Because remember, coming up around 4:30, we're going to talk to you about, and I'm not making this up, kids, masks, duct tape, and Fargo schools. 701-271-1100. You're listening to the Chris Berg Show live from the PetroServe USA studios.
Hey guys, Kyle Cornell here, host of Kyle's Corner, which airs every Friday during the Blitz.
Nice to be able to fulfill something and to continue to do something and not just push it away.
A chance to get to know the young student athletes that are leading our community.
I think I'm learning to step up in that role as the person who the younger guys and other guys in the system can look up to.
That's right. Make sure you tune into the Blitz Fridays at 6 on AM 1100 The Flag and WDAY Radio to hear rock stars like these guys talk and all the high school sports coverage you need.
Broughton Cabinets is growing, and now that winter is around the corner, they know now is the perfect time to remodel lake homes, so you're ready for spring. They also need more team members. If you're driven to go the extra mile for customers, Broughton Cabinets would love to talk to you. They have top-of-the-line equipment that they will train you to use, good pay, benefits, and most importantly, they want their team to mesh into a happy, hardworking atmosphere that's fun. Visit BroughtonCabinets.com for more and to apply.
Murphy's in South Moorhead is a great place to celebrate after a game or watch games on Saturday and Sunday. Murphy's is becoming known for their fresh, delicious, made-from-scratch pizzas. You should try their pizza lunch buffet on Fridays. And they have an awesome selection of wing sauces to enjoy when you're watching a game. Plus, ask about their all-day happy hour on NFL Sundays, where they carry every NFL game live on their TVs. Murphy's Pub and Grill in Moorhead, open 3 to midnight Monday through Thursday and open at 11 Friday through Sunday.
Fix it forward auto care. The name you trust for car repair.
At Fix It Forward Auto Care, they know how stressful it is when your auto isn't running right. That's why they work hard to offer same-day or next-day service, loaner cars, key drop-off, and text messaging. They will even pick up and drop off your car, and you can pay online or over the phone. That's Fix It Forward Auto Care.
Fix it forward auto care.
I'm North Dakota Soybean Council Director Jennifer Meyer of Wilton. The North Dakota Soybean Council reminds soybean farmers to use soy biodiesel to pump up your bottom line. Biodiesel is a high-quality, clean-burning, renewable fuel produced from domestic resources like soybeans. Biodiesel blends up to 20% can be used in any diesel engine. Biodiesel can offer a number of performance benefits for your diesel engine, including improved fuel lubricity, prevention of premature wear and tear, protection against fuel injector and injection pump failure, less equipment downtime or maintenance costs, and it can be used year-round in all weather conditions. Most importantly, biodiesel increases the value of soybeans by over $1 per bushel. Farmers are encouraged to ask for and use soy biodiesel and diesel equipment. They're your soybeans. Put them to work for you. For more information about biodiesel, visit biodiesel.org.
This message is brought to you by the North Dakota Soybean Council and the Soybean Checkoff.
Oh, producer DG, I had no idea that was coming. We might have to just grab that little piece about, am I the only one who's not right? Welcome back to the Chris Berg Show, live from the PetroServe USA studio. Number to call into the show. We'd love to know your point of view on the fact that Sanford Health has posted, hey, the science is clear. You rubes, don't you know? Oh, by the way, it's so clear that we're going to link you to a sales page that you can get your vaccine sooner rather. The science is clear that the vaccine is better than natural immunity. Okay. Number to call into the show, 701-271-1100, 701-271-1100. We're going to get to your calls here in just a moment. A couple lines that are open. First, I do want to share with you what some people are saying on the Sanford Health Facebook page, just to give you an idea. So if you want to call in and say whatever you want, this is great. Amber Vibetto says, quote unquote, the science is clear. By that statement alone, you undermine your professionalism and intellectual integrity. Wow. Witnessing the corruption of large hospital corporations this past year has been eye-opening and extremely unsettling. Jesse, Sanford Health, please explain to me how a third of infections produce no antibodies. How can you preface your statement with, quote unquote, the science is clear, if you then ignore all of the science of the immune system we've ever learned up until now? Mark Terveen, boy, I've never wanted to avoid Sanford Health as much as I do after reading this clearly misleading claim. I'll choose to continue to get health care. And he goes, James, so effective, it requires a booster every 6 months. Like I said to you earlier, if you look at what they just put on their sales piece about the J&J, hey, it's so effective that if you get the J&J, you can get your booster every 2 months. I know. Let's see if we can take the J&J stock from 90 to 190 in the next 6 months. Unbelievable. Let's get to your phone call, 701-271-1100, 701-271-1100. By the way, I don't know the exact price of J&J stock right now, so just want to be clear. I don't know if it's 90 or what it is, but Ryan from Aberdeen, welcome to the show. What's your point of view?
Hey, thank you, Chris. My faith and trust in the medical industry writ large is really, really being tested. I know there's at least one health network in America. It's UC Health out of the University of Colorado, who is sending letters to people on official letterhead telling them that they will be taken off transplant lists if they don't get the vaccine. I would like to the board of directors of Sanford and Avera Health in the eyes and ask them, can you promise me, will you give me your solemn word as doctors that that will not happen on your watch in work?
Hey, Ryan, you're kind of cutting in and out, buddy, but we get the point. I did see the letter out of Colorado as well, where they were going to not provide transplants to somebody unless they got vaccinated. I think this is something else that's really important for people to know. Okay, we're talking about our health people and our hospitals, that when you go there, you want to believe like, okay, everyone's going to have our best interest at heart. Let's have a conversation, okay? Because they're telling us that the science is clear. I don't know about you, but when someone says to me the science is clear, I presume that you're making that bold of a statement, that strong of a statement, because you're able to back it up and prove as to what you're saying. So, of course, I asked super producer Chris Larson, hey, Chris, you know what? They're telling us the science is clear. There's many, many articles and other studies and science that would dispute that the vaccines are better, more effective than natural immunity. So I said, I have a good idea. Why don't we reach out to Sanford Health and let's find out what they have to say. And super producer Chris Larson, if you want to jump here in a moment, but correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, we reached out to them, I believe, this morning and have yet to hear anything back.
Yeah, we haven't heard a thing.
Why would Sanford Health not quickly send us, hey, here's 2 or 3 links that we fired off that we know right now. This shows that the science is clear. And you know what? You guys can talk about this now. To be completely transparent and fair, Chris, get yourself back in here because I do want to give you a chance to comment if you don't mind. But so to be fair, I did look up. There was an Axios article, and somebody did say this. A doctor, I should say, or actually it was a virologist at the University of Texas Medical Branch. So again, the science is clear, right? Even though Father Fauci said it's disputable. But this Axios article did say, however, current scientific evidence shows the vaccine-induced immunity consistently protects better than natural immunity, in part because of how the virus learns to disrupt and evade the immune system. I mean, I didn't look at the data in this article, but did anybody see what's going on with this thing called the Delta variant? Sorry. He says, so how the virus learns to disrupt and evade the immune system, Vineet Manashri, a virologist at the University of Texas Medical Branch, tells Axios. I mean, I don't have a doctorate in virology. And yet when I read this, and I don't know about you, but it says here that vaccine-induced immunity consistently protects better than natural immunity, in part because of how the virus learns to disrupt and evade the immune system. Has anybody seen the numbers because of the Delta variant and how many breakthrough cases are happening right now across the country, specifically in our community? I mean, I'll give you an example today. Today, we had 11, again, any COVID death is unfortunate. Chris Larson, can you join us for a minute here to tell us what's going on with Sanford? But any death is unfortunate. And today we had 11 COVID deaths in North Dakota. 5 of those were fully vaccinated people. That's 45% of the deaths, fully vaccinated people. And yet you've got this person here saying, hey, the natural immune system, the one that God gave you and I, if there's a better healer and health practitioner than Jesus Christ, somebody please tell me, because I don't know of one. And yet this guy's going to tell you that some man-made vaccine is better than our natural immune system at fighting off certain viruses. Now, others, obviously, smallpox, I get it. You need to get the vaccine to protect yourself. I understand that. This one, a little bit different. Chris, we've got about a minute, sir. Have you heard back from Sanford Health? What's the status?
Yeah, no, we haven't heard a thing from Sanford Health. And
Chris says, I'm here, but he's not here. Okay. So stay with us, folks. When we come back, as I said at the pretty much the top of the show, we've got an incredible story for you. And as I said earlier, it involves masks, duct tape, kids, and Fargo schools. You tie those 4 things together any way you want. You can use your imagination, because I know you've got a very powerful imagination. And it's masks, duct tape, kids, and Fargo schools. And we're going to have a special guest that's sort of going to break that all down for you and give you the latest on that situation. So I want to remind you as well, on Friday, please come out and join us, because we've got Free Food Friday here at the Flag at 5 p.m. So whatever you're doing on Friday, cancel your schedule. Come here. It's going to be a great community event at 5 p.m. Free Food Friday, thanks to Casey Joe's Catering. Stay with us. Much more coming up.
Showers and a few embedded thunder showers continue for this afternoon. It will have a high in the upper 40s to near 50 with southeast winds of 15 to 25. The rain will come to an end overnight tonight, about 3/4 of an inch likely throughout the FM area, with higher amounts towards the lakes. We'll have a low near 40, and then sunshine returns for the rest of the week with highs in the mid to upper 50s. Remember, you can always find the full forecast at am1100theflag.com. From the Flag Skywatch Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki.
It's big game, James McCarty. Sports Saturday will be live at Murphy's Pub in Moorhead this Saturday, October 30th, and they're opening the doors early at 10 a.m. Their Scrambler Breakfast Pizza will be on special that morning, along with food and drink specials all day while you watch college football. And we will have prizes and gift cards to give away as well. That's Sports Saturday on the road this Saturday, October 30th at Murphy's Pub, 808 30th Avenue South in Moorhead. Come be a part of the food, fun, and football.
The famous Christmas tour to Minneapolis of Carol Juven and his team is ready to go. Friday, December 3rd, back December 4th. Lunch, dinner, breakfast included. Retrace the steps of the momentous few last years in Minneapolis. See the Skyrocket Farm, dinner at Augsburg College, and Carol Juven. How about the great entertainment?
Yes, the fun-loving church ladies await your arrival.
December 3rd, 4th, the Christmas tour to Minneapolis, 237-9000, 237-9000, juventours.com. Call now.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service also allows me to be there for my community in ways others can't. I help my hometown recover after nature strikes. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country and those I care about safe from threats. I also work with a network of professionals that help me succeed. Also, the Army National Guard's education benefits make getting a higher education a reality. Being an Army National Guard soldier makes living and serving in my community more rewarding every day. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the North Dakota Army National Guard. Aired by the North Dakota Broadcasters Association at this station.
Broughton Cabinets is growing, and now that winter is around the corner, they know now is the perfect time to remodel lake homes, so you're ready for spring. They also need more team members. If you're driven to go the extra mile for customers, Broughton Cabinets would love to talk to you. They have top-of-the-line equipment that they will train you to use, good pay, benefits, And most importantly, they want their team to mesh into a happy, hardworking atmosphere that's fun. Visit BroughtonCabinets.com for more and to apply.
The hockey guys. 8 a.m. Get out of bed, take a shower. If you take a look around what typically transpires in college hockey, I think most head coaches are aspiring, or a lot of head coaches are mentoring. And if you take a look at any given year, the number of coaches that move and try to improve their opportunity to become a head coach. So maybe there's a little story within the story here.
The Hockey Guys, heard right here, Saturday mornings at 8 on The Flag.
Hey, Chris Berg here. I want to talk about a flat rate fee saving you thousands of dollars at James Patrick Real Estate. They are doing some incredible things inside the real estate industry. And if you're looking to sell your home, list your home, go check them out online. Again, it's James Patrick Real Estate. One of the fun things you're going to look at there is they've got this listing fee comparison. And you and I both know when you hire an agent, typically it's some sort of commission structure you're going to do. So if you sell your home for $300,000, you pay X, $500,000, you pay Y. Here's what's amazing at James Patrick Real Estate. Whether you sell your house for $300,000, $500,000, you pay the same flat fee of only $3,500. Let me give you an example. Let's say, because right now the prices are going up. Let's say you sold your home for roughly $280,000. If you work with James Patrick Real Estate, you're going to save yourself roughly $5,000 when they sell your home. Got a bunch of great testimonials there. It says, one of them says, hey, Dan and his team is on top of the entire process. Make it super easy to understand. We save so much money and time with James Patrick Real Estate. Thank you, Nick Olerud. Again, that's James Patrick Real Estate. Check them out online. Honest advice, proven results. We said earlier in the show, and it was a very sincere question, because obviously you and I talk to a lot of people, is who do you trust these days? Who do you trust these days? And I'm suggesting, you know what? At this point in the spin cycle that we're in, the PSYOP situation, maybe you just trust God and your gut. God and your gut. All right. I said earlier in the show, there's a story within the Fargo schools that involves the face masks, duct tape, and our kids. And joining us now, a very special guest, Cassie Schmidt. She started the organization Let Parents Decide That. Cassie, you and I spoke earlier today. We were hoping to have one of the parents on the show, and understandably so. That person said, you know what, I'm not really comfortable talking about this on the radio, but you've got some insight into the story. Please share.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, so last night before the Fargo Public School Board meeting, Let Parents Decide That was copied on an email that was sent to the Fargo Public School Board members, as well as Superintendent Rupak Gandhi. And we get a lot of email copies from members. We have all the emails on our page, and it's just included in there. So we get to see a lot of what parents are distressed about and different issues that are going on in the school. This one in particular was pretty worrisome. And in it was detailed that it was from a mom in Fargo with a student at Ben Franklin Middle School. And basically what happened was her daughter was in class and her mask was either slipping underneath of her nose or had been pulled underneath of her nose, either way. And the teacher took it upon himself to offer her a piece of tape to put over her face, to put onto her face mask and tape her mask to her face so that it wouldn't come down anymore. Now, I reached out to this mom to kind of get more information on what's going on, and apparently this isn't this teacher's first line of defense against these non-compliant mask wearers, but it is pretty shameful and one of his last resorts. So it's a pretty scary situation when they've got teachers taking it upon themselves to shame a child into compliance in front of their peers. And I mean, I'm really dumbfounded. It's kind of hard. I don't have a lot of words for it right now that are suitable for on air, I guess.
And so just to be clear for our audience, this teacher, it's not the first thing that this teacher does. And it's not just tape, it's duct tape, correct?
Yep, it's duct tape.
Okay,
yep,
so...
No, it's not the first. It's not the, your mask doesn't slip once and then he offers you duct tape. It's if he sees this as a problem, as a non-compliant mask wearer, then, and when I say offered, I mean, this is a teacher and he's handing the kid a piece of tape and telling them that they need to tape their mask. So
one other thing that you shared with me is that this isn't the only person this has happened to, correct?
No, sir. Yeah, it was shared with us that just yesterday there were 4 students in that classroom, including the mother's child that I had spoken with. 4 students just in that one class that had happened to. And, I really want to, again, so our group, Let Parents Decide That, we are in place because parents need some encouragement sometimes to step up and speak out. We happen to know that a couple of the other parents that this had happened to their child were upset about it, but they didn't reach out. And I want parents in our area to know and to feel some pride in the fact that these are your children. Okay, you were put in place to stand up for these kids, to advocate for them. You're their best defense, their best supporter, their best advocate that they'll ever have. You have to speak out. You have to speak up. It's not about how we're going to look at by others anymore. We have to start thinking about how are we going to be looked at by our kids.
And Cassie, I think most people would agree with you. And then you look at Dr. Jensen, Dr. Horak. I mean, these are prominent doctors within their community getting canceled. Some parents are going to say, look, I'm just trying to feed my kids, right? And now you're asking me to step up and step out. I don't know if I can afford to do that. I don't know if I can do that. What do you say?
Well, I think I'm glad that you brought that up because Dr. Horak, look at the support that he's received since he opened his mouth. He said what happened and he's gotten support all over the place. I am a person of faith, Chris, and I truly believe that when God shuts a door, he opens a window. And I think that sometimes we feel stuck in situations, and we feel like we're really getting ourselves in a tough spot when really we're putting ourselves in a tough spot and we can let ourselves out the window, I guess is what I'm getting at.
If you're just joining us, it's Cassie Schmidt with Let Parents Decide That. Much of what she's been talking about is a situation with obviously masks in schools. And she's sharing with you a story about some students at the Ben Franklin Middle School. The mask was coming off, correct me if I'm wrong here, Cassie, but coming off their nose. Then the teacher gives them some warnings and eventually says, hey, here's duct tape. I need you to tape this up on your face. So with all this being said, Cassie, one of the things that we love here at the Chris Berg Show is taking action, doing something to make a difference. So what would you like our audience to do to make a difference?
Well, this isn't an easy ask, Chris, but this is something that I've been at for months. Now, it's one thing to send emails and to make calls. Those are important action steps that parents can take today. They can do it right now. They can go right to our Facebook page, Let Parents Decide That. It is a private page. They have to request to be a member, but we have all of the contact information for the Fargo Public School Board members, their phone numbers, their emails, and that's also on the district page as well, if that's easier for you. But getting in contact is step number 1. But step number 2, and I truly believe this with all of my heart, is non-compliance, because we have to get back to what these masks are being used for. And we're using these masks for a medical purpose, Chris. They're using these masks under the guise of public safety. They are saying that they're preventing or mitigating the spread of an illness. Well, that's using a physical apparatus for a medical purpose. It becomes a medical device. And any type of medical intervention needs to remain in the parents' hands for parents' consent, and in the individual's hands for their own consent. I'm worried about these teachers and staff members inside these buildings as well. They don't have any less rights than the parents have. You should be able to make their own medical decisions, just like the parents should be able to make their own medical decisions for their children. So I'm really asserting, and so is our group, that the easiest way that we're going to, well, I shouldn't say the easiest, but the quickest way that we're going to make it out of this is to just start saying no. And it doesn't have to be an aggressive, non-compliant, it doesn't have to be a fight. No, thank you. I do not consent. I'm here to learn. I want to breathe.
Well, I think you bring up such a valid point, Cassie, because of the standpoint that unless you've seen something recently, Cassie, I have not, but there's still not conclusive evidence that these masks mitigate COVID-19 in the classroom. Is that accurate?
Chris, it is so clear that they don't mitigate COVID-19, but what's worse than that is that we have no evidence that these are safe. We have no evidence that it is safe to strap on something over your nose and your mouth for extended periods of time during one day and then drag that out across months and months. We're inside of the scariest human experiment that we could ever be in. Let me lay this out really simply for parents and for listeners. You are covering the face of your child for extended periods of time, reducing your oxygen. And anybody who's worn a mask for any amount of time knows that it is hard to breathe through. There's a reason for that. These kids need mask breaks. That should worry you, that your kid needs a mask break because they need to take some time to breathe oxygen uninhibited. Okay, that should tell you that it's not safe for long periods of time, especially if breaks are needed. There's nothing to tell us that it's safe.
Cassie Schmidt with Let Parents Decide That. Thank you for sharing the story, Cassie. I'm going to play a little bit of something just for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I will not comply.
I love it.
Quit trying to take me to task, cause I don't want to wear a mask or take a vaccine that could maybe make me die. They got no scientific evidence to back that crap up. All they do is feed us lie after lie. That's why I will not comply. No sense back last.
There you go, Cassie Schmidt. Let me hear you. I will not comply.
I will never comply, Chris. And I'm about to call up Ryan Joe and go on tour with him. That's how much I believe in this.
I will not comply. Hey, thank you so much, Cassie. We appreciate it as always. One thing that we want, peaceful non-compliance, Alexis says here on the live stream. Thank you for that, Alexis. And I think Cassie nails it, folks. It's just going to take you and your family sitting down and just saying, look, you can just tell them, you know what, thank you. I'm here to learn. I'm doing very well. There's no studies that show that this thing's actually going to mitigate or stop the spread of COVID. And so until you can show me that, Jason Harmon, Cassie says, Cassie is a bad beep and a great leader. So love that. And here's one thing that we want to ask you here on the Chris Berg Show, that if this is something that you're passionate about and you want to have a conversation with somebody about, please call Superintendent Dr. Rupak Gandhi. He's the Fargo superintendent. Phone number for him to call their office and let him know, 701-446-1005. 701-446-1005. That's the phone number to Dr. Rupak Gandhi if you want to give him a call and just share your point of view in regards to kids putting duct tape on their face to keep the masks in place. Oh my gosh, I just rhymed. Kids putting duct tape on their face to keep their masks in place. All right, stay with us. We're going to be taking your phone calls when we come back. Number to call into the show and share your point of view on anything we've talked about today, whether it's I will not comply, the Cassie Schmidt story here out of Ben Franklin, or it may even be Sanford Health telling you that natural immunity thing, not so much. 701-271-1100, 701-271-1100. You're listening to the Chris Berg Show live from the PetroServe USA studios.
This is Todd. He's a North Dakota farmer and customer of High Plains Apache.
The advance in boom height control and PWM nozzle control systems, everything just gets better every year. And that seems to be what drives guys to trade. You know, we run a couple different GPS systems. Raven stuff is factory installed. We actually do a plug and play with John Deere controls now too. It's come in handy, and there's a lot of red sprayers on all green farms.
You can find High Plains Apache online at highplainsapache.com.
For more than 40 years, Jose Investments has brought plans to life and made dreams come true by delivering expertise and service to those wishing to lease office space, buy or sell land, or develop office buildings. Their team of professionals has extensive experience with landlords, tenants, buyers, sellers, and developers in the tri-state region. They know the properties, they know the market. When you look to the future, look to Jose Investments. Go online to joseinvestments.com. That's KJOS Investments.com.
Trillions of dollars. Wrap your mind around that. That's what's being pumped into the economy as a result of the COVID crisis that we've dealt with over the last number of months. Jerry Breyer is here. He's been in the gold silver business for decades. Jerry, what are all those trillions going to mean for precious metals?
It's interesting how much $1 trillion is worth. $1 trillion is a million. And when you consider 6 trillion, that's 6 million that has been put into the economy. That is definitely inflationary, and we're going to have a problem with our money system. So the best way to hold on to your assets is to invest in precious metals, because in highly inflationary times, they hold value against inflation.
Do it before you regret it.
Amen.
Generous Jerry, Gold Silver Exchange, Grand Forks. Call 701-746-9950 or 2124 Gateway Drive, Grand Forks.
We at the University of Mary are committed to furthering the development of ethical servant leaders in our region and beyond. We've offered a high-quality, mission-driven education in business for decades, and we've listened to the concerns and needs of business leaders. That's why we are excited to offer the region's first accredited Doctorate of Business Administration degree. Learn more at umary.edu/DBA. That's umary.edu/DBA.
My pals at Action Movers are now offering the lowest local move rate in North Dakota. It's the lowest advertised rate in 20 years. $99 an hour for 2 men in a truck. All you need to do is mention Scott. Not only the lowest local move rate, but the best movers in the state. They're professionally trained. They're background checked. Action Movers, North Dakota's best moving company since 1932. Family-owned, veteran-owned. Call now. 566-5532. 566-5532. Mention Scott to take advantage of this great offer.
Berg Show! We want to hear from you. Number to call into the show, 701-271-1100, 701-271-1100. Here's what's really fun. We're coming to you live from what's called the PetroServe USA studios. So it's 4:53. If you are going to be driving home soon from work, do yourself a favor and stop into a local PetroServe USA store and grab some goodies, i.e. the cookies, because they are amazing. You're going to absolutely love them. And then I want to remind you on Friday, 5 p.m. here at the Flag. It's free food Fridays at the Flag, 5 to 6:30 p.m. Thank you to Casey Joe's Catering for that. Come on down, have some food, some fellowship, and hang out with us. And Miss North Dakota is going to be here. Miss North Dakota, Rana Bergstrom, is going to be joining us and having some food and fellowship with us. I always get to your phone calls. We got a bunch of people on the line, so let's get to as many as we possibly can. Let's go to Jean from Grand Forks. She's a nurse practitioner. If this is the Jean that I think it is, please let me know. Welcome to the show. What's your point of view, Jean?
Yes, this is the Jean you think it is.
Thank you so much for calling in, and we'd love to have you do a lot more, even just segments with us. So, Jean, if you want to give a little bit of your background, I hate to do this. We've got about 2 or 3 minutes, but give a little bit about your background and then share your point of view, please.
Okay, I'm a family nurse practitioner and child development and mental health specialist and have worked with children forever. I've been doing a lot of speaking about masks and about the detrimental effects of the pandemic on children. And recently was in St. Paul. I've been to the Senate, spoke to Cassie's group. She said, I can't remember exactly what she said, but there are many, many studies that show the dangers of masking. And that includes parasites, saliva, bacteria, thrush, acne, to say nothing of the developmental delays in speech and language that are occurring in children as young as 2 years old because they can't see their caregivers' faces and they can't lip read. So it's very dangerous. We've been in this long enough now to know they don't work. Anybody who has taken a mask down and touched it, you have to change to a new one. Anyone who has had their glasses fog up, the viruses are smaller than that. So this is not about science. It's not about teaching people the dangers of masks. It's about power. And we have to stand as a group. We have to not comply or it's going to be never ending.
And Dr. Jean, if you don't mind, because as you watch, many people, I'll just say on the other side, are going to say, it's about the kids. It's about the kids. It's about the kids. Well, Dr. Jeffrey Horrock's wife, Debbie, spoke at a recent Fergus Falls school board meeting and talked about we've seen a 15% increase in suicide rates in our youth. You shared an sad, shocking, moving story in Grand Forks at the city council meeting. I've got literally about a minute, but can you just give people a quick debrief on what happened?
This was a 9-year-old who had to wear a mask and was isolated, quarantined early in the pandemic. She was afraid she was going to cause her grandmother to die, and she didn't have any friends. So she said, there's no sense in me doing anything. And she went in the house and she shot herself and killed herself. She's 9 years old. And it was such a tragedy. The suicide rates and anxiety and depression rates are up over 50%, some places as high as 75%. The ERs are full of suicide ideation and drug overdoses right now. They're also full of vaccinated patients who have become ill. So it's a mess. It's a mess for all ages, but especially for our school children who have to wear them all day. And anyone who is dumb enough to tell a child to tape a mask to their face, that child could suffocate because the mask gets so wet. It's child abuse. The teachers aren't taping their masks to their faces. They get breathless.
I don't mean to interrupt you just because of the time. Is there a possible charges that could be filed for some sort of negligence against kids, against this teacher?
I would think so. If I were the parent, I sure would look into it. It's dangerous to tape something over a child's nose and mouth.
Jean, thank you so much for calling in. We'd love to have you back. So if you don't mind, I'm going to put you on hold. I'm at producer BG. Get your full name and contact number and we'll be in touch, okay?
Okay, thank you.
God bless you and thank you very much. Folks, I just want you to repeat quickly here what you just heard. 9-year-old girl wearing masks, was afraid she was going to pass COVID on to her grandma, was afraid, didn't have a lot of friends. And I don't want to go into the details she just said, but that ended up committing suicide. Let that sink in. Who do you trust? God and your gut, right? We need to do a better job here to, again, not fall to a spirit of fear, but a spirit of love, power, and a sound mind. For the rest of our callers, call in tomorrow. We'll have you join us then. As always, thank you so much for joining us on the Chris Berg Show live from the PetroServe USA studios.